Hello everyone. Welcome to the Model Express channel. Today's comparison review is of the MB style God Gundam from Burning Model. I don't know why it's called that. Maybe it's because the weather has been too hot lately. The model is a God Gundam with an MB style metal frame and outer armor assembly. Unlike the Dabin kit, this kit does not use a plastic assembly frame. Instead, it provides a pre-assembled one-piece alloy frame. Meanwhile, the outer armor parts are not entirely pre-painted. Only the black iron and gold parts are visible. However, compared to Bandai's original MB version, especially the red and blue parts, the color effect and texture are not significantly different. Firstly, the sizes are quite consistent, including the shape accuracy model. The manufacturer has done a good job. Secondly, the weight of the assembled model without the backpack is not significantly different between the two. The original Bandai model is slightly heavier. Regarding the head sculpt, the KO version comes with two different mask styles, but swapping them is quite difficult, so I only installed the RG style mask. Then, comparing it to the original Bandai MB version, which mask style do you prefer? As for the differences, I think the KO version's overall face has a somewhat anthropomorphic feel. Because of the bridge of the nose, it looks like a living person, but up close it's a little scary. However, if you look at the Bandai original's face through the lens of Gundam aesthetics, it simply feels a bit strange. During the assembly of the KO version head, the forehead part, the one connecting the antenna and the green monitor, had a gap between it and the main body of the head, making it difficult to press in even with considerable force. The green monitor part also came pre-painted, making assembly a bit challenging. I had to adjust the parts vertically to fully install them. Please be aware of this. When assembling this KO version, I only did panel lining on one side. You can compare the two sides to see the difference in effect. I think simply assembling it would be rather bland and simple. After using decals and panel lining, the accuracy compared to the original Bandai version is quite good. Although the KO version doesn't have many pre-painted parts, the color adjustments this time are quite good. The colors of the injection molded parts are very similar to the paint finish of the Bandai version. However, one thing I don't quite like is that there are no yellow parts in this kit. All the yellow parts are pre-painted as gold, and the gold is more of a bronze color, which looks rather strange. The most noticeable areas of color loss are the knees and the entire lower leg. When the official images were released, players seemed to be relatively accepting of this. However, I noticed something more significant. None of the air vents or nozzles were painted in two colors, inside and outside, and some parts were not separated into individual pieces. The design of the armor on the back of the lower leg filling the gap after unfolding is retained. However, the pink lining was not fully reproduced. The KO version uses black parts. The lack of color separation in the thrusters makes the contrast more obvious when unfolded. The way the armor on the lower legs of the KO version of the God Gundam is connected is different from the way the parts are connected in the original Bandai version. Therefore, the detailed decorations on the lower legs of the original Bandai version are not present on the KO version. But the overall appearance of the surface is better than that of the original. The problem is that when the outer armor is deployed, the gold nozzle parts attached to the rear are pushed out. The solution is to install everything first, and then seep a very small amount of glue through the gap on the top. This will prevent the problem from occurring after deployment. The chest cockpit unfolds exactly the same as the original, except for some differences in the inscriptions inside. The main differences aren't too significant, so let's look at the accessories. This version includes more accessories than the original. First, 2 complete core fighters are included. This means that if you install the standard backpack, you'll also have a Type 2 wing-style core fighter for external display. The kit includes 2 neck joints, one long and one short. I recommend using the long joint, as the short joint is too short, severely limiting the head range of motion. The original Bandai kit includes a complete front-end assembly for the spare antenna. The KO version only includes one spare gold antenna part. Initially, I thought the manufacturer included 2 head sculpts, given the 2 face masks. However, it turns out they only included a spare antenna. The pink effect parts have excellent transparency. Compared to the original, they only lack the silver paint. Then, the hand configuration is exactly the same as the original Bandai. Comparing it with a painted version, the paint effect is basically the same. The most objective difference is that the Bandai's hand armor has a more obvious dividing line when viewed from the side. The connectors for the nunchucks show a difference. The original Bandai version has yellow parts with red paint sprayed on top, while the KO version is entirely red. The rope in the middle of the connector also shows some differences in surface texture. The original Bandai version has some texture, while the KO version has no texture at all, clearly indicating that a short piece of ordinary electrical wire was used as the middle rope. Then there's the disc effect part on the back, the accuracy of which is truly remarkable. It's almost identical to what Bandai made. The only difference is in the color of the outermost edge, where the shades are slightly different. The rest of the texture, including the glossy finish on the back, is exactly the same. Compared to the second form backpack, the only noticeable difference is in the color blocks. While both appear to use 3 shades of red, the KO version simply can't display multiple shades of red on the same part. The difference is so subtle it's almost imperceptible without close inspection. There's a lack of touch-up color on the small gold parts. The red stripes are applied using decals, so I didn't decorate them. As usual, the nozzle color on the front is still present. The biggest difference between the core fighter jets is the cockpit canopy. The KO version uses a completely transparent material, while the original Bandai version is green. The KO version's canopy can also be opened, revealing the detailed cockpit interior. The nose extension and retraction during the fuselage's rotation and folding are also faithfully reproduced. As mentioned earlier, some missing colors are mainly concentrated in the black iron color and the nozzle color. However, strangely, the 2 small gold dots below the nose are recreated. The mechanical structural details on the fuselage are also identical to the original. The unfolded backpack of the God Gundam and the gold color separation on the inside are perfectly reproduced. The minor flaws are the detail in the color separation of individual parts and some differences in color blocks. Finally, a few points to consider. First, when assembling the individual wing pieces, the largest white wing piece on the outermost side may have gaps and cannot be closed. When assembling a single wing, the blue parts on both sides need to be joined vertically. There are many inserts inside, requiring considerable force to install them correctly. I swung the 3 wing pieces back and forth while simultaneously applying force to press down the blue parts on the other side. This method is easier. As for the model's articulation and playability, I won't go into detail, as it's exactly the same as the original Bandai version. Finally, let's give a brief summary. First, I'm a bit puzzled as to why, even with a metal frame MB modified model kit, they chose the God Gundam theme. When God Gundam was first released, its price was never inflated. It consistently dropped in price. The fact that this product was even made suggests that the KO manufacturer's owner likes God Gundam, or perhaps it's because of the G Gundam anime itself. The price of the original Bandai MB God Gundam is now incredibly low, and I think the quality of the MB God Gundam is quite good, with excellent playability design. If you haven't bought the official version yet, purchasing a metal frame KO model kit as a budget alternative is a great choice. After all, the price is only 1/6 of the official version, and the heavy modification version of Master Gundam is about to be released, making this 1/100th scale model a perfect match. Okay, that concludes this comparison review video. Please follow my channel, like and share, and see you in the next video.